Hey, and welcome to another episode of Success Ladder Podcast. My name is Paul Bryan, and as usual, at Success Ladder Podcast, we bring you deep conversation that inspire the whole world. Conversation that make you learn something and also make you grow as a human being, as an organization, and all that. So today I'm joined with a gentleman who wears so many hats. And as usual, we normally say here, we don't like introducing people. We like people telling us who they are. So the gentleman that I'm with today is Leon, and he does a couple of things. And we are going to talk about one of the things that he does. And it's an interesting topic that today everybody is talking about across the globe. So let me give him a chance to introduce himself first before we start the conversation. So Leon, welcome to Success Ladder Podcast. You tell us who you are. You see here, we invite very intelligent people. So an intelligent person is somebody who can tell us more about themselves. I don't want to paint pictures that are not true about you. Yeah, so Leon, how is you? Even me, I don't know you, by the way.
Thank you, PB, for the invitation in the first place. Introducing myself, there is who I am and then there is what I am.
Okay.
I believe your question was what I am, and that's my play in the AI space, personal branding space, and of course my core, which is sales and all that. But who I am, just another young African trying to do better in the current times. I've been telling people that for the longest we've been as a continent in a discussion as a benchmark of problems. When the global stage wants to speak about Africa, it's always about bad governance, bad leadership, funny diseases here and there, corruption and all that. But we have more than that down here. In fact, most of the resources being used in the global West, especially, all come from here. So, in the mission of making us to be more than just a benchmark of problems and to actually start being considered as a source of solution. So that's who I am. That's my personal mission. But what I am is I try to achieve this mission through AI, building fellow young men and women, and of course, utilizing personal stories to build businesses and careers, and that's personal branding. Yes.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing stuff. So you've mentioned something, and it's interesting. So maybe I was one of those people who thought that technology was not something that started in Africa. Yeah. So there's a day I was doing just some random research, and actually I asked ChatGPT, when did technology come to Africa? Mm-hmm. And the response that I got from that was that technology actually started in Africa.
Yes.
So they were talking about the old tools, those ancient tools that were being discovered. Then I realized that all along, we've been wrong. We think that this thing came, it started somewhere else. But actually it started here.
Yes.
Yeah, you see all those stuff that people were doing. So it's interesting that this thing actually originated from us, but most of the time we don't use it to our benefit. Mm-hmm. People think that Africa is a dark continent. Maybe we confuse our color. I know most of us, I know the northern part of Africa, they're not dark. But people see, whenever people hear about Africa, as you say, people talk about the bad stories, and all that. But that is not my interest today. Mm-hmm. As you've said, we want to have a discussion around a global topic. Everybody's talking about AI today.
Yes.
But before we get there, I want us to start with technology. Mm-hmm. Because AI is just another, actually you're going to tell us what AI is, mm-hmm. but AI is just another level of technology. So my first question to you would be, what do you think, and here I'm not talking technology in general. Actually I did the research and I was told it started in Africa. When you talk about computers came into Africa in the early 1960s, and then the widespread of internet in Africa happened about 1990s. That is when now I would say that most parts of Africa started experiencing internet. My question is, do you think like today, have we used technology for the betterment of Africa?
Not really.
Yeah.
Just forget about general technology.
Yeah.
If I try
Yeah.
to focus on the AI
Yeah.
as the recent level of technology,
Yeah.
all we do, like you mentioned, you asked ChatGPT when technology started,
Yeah.
that's what 99%
Yeah.
of our population does, right? If you check the global
Yeah.
world, the global west and all that, recently there has been a surge in the, let's say, billionaire status. Just one fact,
Yeah.
wealth increase, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's coincidental? It's not. It's because of AI and the fact that they know how to utilize it at a larger scale. For us, it's just a search tool. To do some research, how do I write my boss a letter to ask for a raise?
Yeah.
How do I come up with a better CV? That's underutilization. It's not even using AI.
Yeah.
So technology generally, of course, we have been playing catch up as a continent.
Yeah.
And the bad thing about playing catch up is you're just copying and pasting what's happening out there. If we see an accountant in the UK using a computer, a simple computer, for computations and just putting figures together in a spreadsheet, we copy and paste that and we say we are using technology.
Yeah.
So in Africa, I think the utilization of technology in its full scale has been less than 15% of what it can actually do.
Yeah.
And it's a sad fact,
Yeah.
a sad affair, given that the materials that make this technology to actually function in the first place all come from here. So yeah, we've been really way below the mark in terms of using technology for the betterment of the continent.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. So actually, that makes me think of something. Do you think we just go by trends? So I hear about AI, and then we don't actually do research of what we don't actually do research of what maybe technology is. So if we talk about, for example, AI, when people heard about AI, so most people just know that the language model, so the ChatGPT, Gemini, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is it lack of understanding? Is it that we rush to trends? Is it that we are lazy? We don't want to dig deep and understand actually what this thing we are calling AI is?
Actually, it's a combination of different factors here and there.
Yeah.
One, as human beings, we are generally afraid of new things, as much as it's exciting.
Yeah.
Right? We're usually more comfortable with what you're familiar with than something new coming into the market. And this I understood at a deeper level when last year I offered to train a sales team of a very big insurance firm in country. Very big.
Yeah.
When I say big, it's really big.
Yeah.
And I was really frustrated to hear a whole CEO of that firm telling me that I can't expose my sales team to AI because I was told by so-and-so AI is about devil worshipping, right? So imagine that level of ignorance at that level of management. So one is just that we are afraid of new things. And that's why I think when we are launching things into the market, we should find a point where we call Maya, okay? Most advanced yet acceptable. So how do we find a meeting point between the most advanced tools or the most new technology or inventions and that which people are familiar with? So if we can first bring the populace into that level, then it will be in their best interest to know as much as they can about AI. Right now, all that people associate with AI is that it's coming to take my business, it's coming to take my job, and adding to it that it's a new aspect of living imagine the fear in people's hearts.
Yeah.
So one, it's fear. Two, we just don't want to go that extra mile to understand what it is all about. And then we've not seen firsthand what it can do for us.
Yeah.
Because right now we have so many people, especially young people online, who claim to be AI coaches, AI experts here and there, and then they tell you this course, if you study it, you'll be able to make an income within a week, 20,000 weekly, right?
Yeah.
You study the course, you realize it was a bunch of useless material, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And then imagine what that does to you, right? You knew that if I just study this course, then I'll be able to leap from making 5,000 a week to 2,000 a week.
True.
And then you study, you waste your time, you waste your money, it doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
Plus you've heard from the population that this AI is here to take your job, it's here to close your business and all that. So that compounding together creates a state where we actually run from it instead of running towards it to understand what it is. So it's a combination of so many factors, but those are some of them.
Yeah, amazing. Now, I want us to go back a bit.
Yeah.
Now, we are talking about AI, and we might assume that all of us understand what AI is. Me and you, we understand. Yeah. Okay. Actually, in this case, let me be the audience. So assume that I don't understand what AI is. So my question is, what is AI? What is this AI that we are talking about? Is somebody listening and wondering, okay, AI, what is this AI? Is it an I with an A, or what is this AI?
This way you take your notebooks. AI,
Yeah.
right? It's basically your assistant.
We need to tell our director to take notes.
Yeah, our director to take notes. That person watching.
Yeah.
Take a book and a pen.
Yeah.
AI is basically an assistant. Okay?
Yeah.
You want to attend a meeting, summarize what you discuss in the meeting, share working points with your team without having to lift a finger. That's AI. You combine different tools, you put them in your virtual meeting, they record, they create a summary, they assign tasks and share with teams without you lifting a finger. That's AI.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Number two, let's say, of course, AI that we know is the software side, but there is the hardware side, robots and all that.
Yeah.
You want to serve in a restaurant as a waiter.
Yeah.
You have 30 orders within an hour, and you're just a human being. You get tired and all that. A robot can do that in lesser time than you. So what is it doing? Just assisting you to do what you can do as a human.
Yeah.
Now, the biggest misconception people have is that AI is coming to replace humans.
Yeah.
You are irreplaceable as a human being. AI is just here to boost your abilities, right? For me to do what I do in AI, first I had to have the understanding of my field and my space. And then I now went to asking the question, how can AI help me do this more efficiently, use lesser time, use lesser cost to deliver, and deliver faster and all that, okay? Yeah. So as a person in the media space like yourself, you must first understand how to ask these questions. True. Okay? Yeah. And then I will tell you, instead of asking 100 questions, then just select these 20, then create an impact for you. True. First, you have to understand what you do in media, but AI is here to tell you, instead of asking 100 questions, do this. And then how do you ask these questions? AI will help you with that. Okay. But you know you have to ask questions in the first place. Yeah, so a simple aspect like prompt engineering will tell you that, and that's one of the primary things that I teach people when it comes to AI. For AI to work for you, the difference between a good result and a bad result is how you communicate to it. If today I send you PB with 1,000 bob to the grocery store, and I told you, go bring me milk and sugar, right? Bring me milk and sugar with 1,000 bob. Okay? What brand of milk are you going to bring? How many liters are you going to bring? How many kgs of sugar are you going to bring? You'll come up with anything that comes first in your mind, alright? Sure. But now if I told you, go bring me Ilara milk, 1 liter and 2 kgs of sugar a certain brand, Naivas
Yes.
brand.
Yeah.
Then you have clarity of what I really need, and you bring things to my satisfaction.
True.
So this is just a simple case study, and AI has access to trillions and trillions of data.
Yeah.
So you're telling it, generate for me a photo. Then what? It will take the nearest in the trillions of data it has,
Yeah.
which is usually the less qualified in terms of your description and all that.
Yeah.
So first, you must understand what you're doing, and then you bring AI to assist. So in summary, AI is just an assistant, nothing big than that. No one should threaten you with big words and all that.
Yeah.
AI is an assistant, so you must first be competent in what you do,
Yeah.
and then you now figure out how can I leverage AI to do this faster and using less cost, using less time and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. There's something you mentioned that is very important, and actually it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of humility and a lot of patience actually to understand things.
Yes.
And that is, I would say, as a continent or as a world, in most cases, that is what we've been missing. You find out that most of the time we jump into conclusion of things, so we just assume that we know things. And you mentioned that there are people outside there who say that they are AI coaches, and actually they don't understand. They don't understand AI deeply. And as you said, there is the software bit, and then there is the hardware bit, the infrastructure as a whole. I know you have something very interesting that you've worked on. You mentioned when you're doing introduction about the AI Central. We're going to talk about it in the part 2 of this conversation. In this part 1, I just want people to have that understanding of the AI as a whole. So you mentioned about fear.
Yes.
And I think this is one of the things that actually is affecting us as a continent. We have potential, we can do great things, but there is that fear. I normally tell people, when somebody asks me about, is AI going to replace whatever I'm doing today and all that, I always tell them, no. I always tell them that AI can replace you, and at the same time it cannot replace you. So this is how AI will replace people. AI will replace you if you don't adapt to it.
Yes.
Back then maybe talk about 20 years or maybe 15. Let's say 20 years ago. Computers was not like a common thing in our continent. So when computers were coming, there were those people who say no, there's another wave that will just come to us. And those people who didn't learn using computers, actually they were replaced by the computers. Those who adapted and learned how to use computers, actually they were not replaced, that is one, and they excel in whatever they do. So when it comes to AI, and as I know you are a trainer in this topic, what can you talk about the adaptation? You just gave a scenario of a CEO, a old CEO talking about AI being a devil worshipping thing. What can you say is the level of adaptation today of AI in Africa as a continent?
These figures are astonishing.
Yeah.
You have to understand that only 50%, 15,
Yeah.
1/5
Yes.
of the population
Yeah.
in Africa
Yeah.
actually know anything about AI or are actually interested in the topic.
Yeah.
And of the 15%, only 4% can actually use AI. And remember when we said telling ChatGPT drive for you, I said that's not using. So actually using 4% of the population.
Yeah.
Imagine how bad those figures are.
Yeah.
We are in a continent of over 1 billion people. Let's say 50% of them are adults or young adults and qualified to use AI and all that. Only 15% of that can actually use AI.
Yeah.
AI is a topic that was first discussed in 1929 during I think it was the Great Depression, right?
Okay.
So it was not called AI, but it was called automation, and that's why during the World War II, they came up with ways to release missiles without having to push them through a barrel and all that. The Hiroshima and Nagasaki just dropped the bombs. How did they do that? Just through automation of the missile carriers and all that. So it's a topic that has been discussed for ages. The first application, I think the real application was in 2008 after the financial crisis and all that. And companies like BlackRock came up with tools to study the market and give analytics without having to depend on human intelligence and all that. So imagine something that has been in application since 2008. Right now, it's still a foreign topic in this continent. So the level of adaptation is really, really low. And that's why we're doing everything in our effort, not to teach courses, but to help people understand what really I can do for them.
But again, when you talk about teaching, what can we do actually? I think the people who normally piss me the most are, I don't like talking about things that I don't understand. And that is one thing that I encourage people. I encourage people to follow that path. It's good to talk about things that you understand. It's good to take your time. And actually, these things they're not like very tough to understand. But do we really want to understand? So somebody's outside there. They know whatever he's selling. I know you also do marketing, and people know whatever he's selling outside there. Today, if I'm a developer, for example, I develop softwares. I know the language that I'm going to use is very simple. I'm going to say that it has 1, 2, 3 AI capabilities. Now, when people hear about AI capabilities, and then I'll go there because I know they lack the knowledge, tell them 1, 2, 3 things what AI can do, and then, this is the system that I want. But at the end of the day, people who say that they are teaching AI and they don't understand AI, they actually end up giving like the wrong information. So for me, as a consumer of their teachings, if I say today that I'm an expert in this field, I'm an AI expert and I'm coming to train you, actually, you're going to go by whatever I'll tell you. Say, an expert said this about AI. The information that they're giving is wrong. So do you think there is a way we can control these people who are giving the wrong information?
The market is flooded with a lot of those. And their motivation is bigger than anything we can do, because their motivation is coming out of poverty, which is a good thing. They're using the wrong method. I fear poverty and all that. But
same.
Now, this ball goes back to the quote of the consumer. First, just create interest. Create interest of understanding what this thing is. And just to preempt a bit of what we are supposed to discuss in part 2, is that one of our platforms is helping people approach AI not from a tool perspective, but from a problem perspective. So instead of you thinking of what tools will I use, just understand your problem. My problem is content creation. Go type content creation. You will need all tools that will help with content creation. And when you start following that rabbit hole, you will realize within time, interest is coming slowly and slowly. And that's when you start want to understand machine learning, robotics and all that. So before you get there, create the slightest interest that you can. Just like a spark of a fire, and then everything has to line up. And just for your information, no one is an AI expert. No one. Not even Elon Musk. No one that you know is an AI expert, because since I walked in, it's been over an hour. At least 18 billion aspects have changed in AI. So how can you be an expert? Can you catch up with 18 billion aspects every hour? So you can never be an AI expert. You just have knowledge, basic knowledge in AI, and therefore no one should threaten you that they are an AI expert. Create an interest on your own. Start with your problems. Okay? Don't think about tools, complications, start with your problems. What problems are you facing that you feel AI could help you, and approach that from a zero cost perspective. I'm facing lead generation, and for me to get leads, I must pay for ads. But I understand there are AI tools that can help me with that without me paying for any ads. So start from there.
And you said something that is very important. It's something that I normally say generally in technology. nobody's an expert in technology. These
Yeah.
things keep changing, like they keep changing. So it's one field that is growing every now and then. Now, there are these young people. Somebody is doing, it's a question that actually people ask because I'm also in the technology space. It's a question that I normally get most of the time.
Yeah.
What can you tell somebody, whichever course? I remember there is a university in Kenya here, Maseno, Maseno University. So there was a time there were memes going around that in Maseno, all courses are with IT. They used to have maybe Christian religion with IT, so people used to make fun. People used to make fun about it. And one thing that I used to tell them that I don't know, but if those people are actually integrating whatever they're doing with the technology, then they are helping their students. Most of the students, most of the young people, maybe somebody wants to join a tertiary institution, they talk about, oh, I want to do AI related course. But for me, I always have that mindset of, you see, I can be a lawyer today, but I can still do lawyer with AI. Yeah. So what can you tell them? That it's not about doing the AI course, it's not about doing the technology course. If my strength is in journalism, if my strength is in engineering, then I can actually still integrate engineering with AI.
Yes.
Yeah, I can learn engineering and I can learn AI and then bring AI into engineering.
Yes.
So what can you tell them? What can you tell a young person who wants to go to university about the courses that they want to? Because this thing is here and it's here to stay. It's not like it's a wave that is passing. It will keep on advancing, but we have to adapt it. So how do we adapt it? When you give somebody education, you're helping that person. So even in our schools, and actually not even to the learners alone, even the institution, what can you tell our African institution and our African students about AI so that this wave doesn't pass us or we become people who will just be paying a lot of money to get something that we can actually build because we know we have that potential.
Yeah, so one, the institutions, the governments and all that, they're just not ready to actually provide value as much as education coupled with AI is concerned. Okay? So you going to select a course which is social working with AI doesn't mean the institution will deliver on that.
Yeah, true.
It's upon you to make sure you understand this is social work, this is finance, this is accounting. How can AI help me create better solutions? AI is actually about solutions more than just understanding what course you're doing. Okay. Personally, I did finance. Right. I told you in our introduction some other time that at the core I am a salesperson. So my field is sales and finance. But I started interacting with AI when in 2018 when I cleared high school. And that means I started understanding AI before I even knew I was going to do finance. Okay. So what I do right now is just ask myself, how can I create solutions using AI that can help people in finance, in the finance field? How can I create solutions that can help businesses grow? Like we create business control systems, CRMs, ERPs and all that. So how can I use AI to create better ERPs, better business control systems that can actually boost the financial side of someone's business and all that? So it's not about the course you're doing. Go do anything, right? Go do social work, go do community help, do anything. But the question should be, how can I create a solution? Because right now, our education is meant to create more and more workers, which is something that was used in the industrial age. Right now, we don't need that. We need people that can actually study and then create jobs for others. So as you do your social work, as you do your community health, as you do your real estate, as you do your finance, your law and all that, just ask yourself, what solutions do we need out here? And then how can I leverage AI to create these solutions as a student, as someone who is starting out in life and all that. So your school might proclaim they teach AI. Of course, it's a marketing tactic to bring more and more students because that's their clientele, or which is not bad.
Yeah.
It's just business. But again, it, like I said before, it falls in your hands for you to understand what AI can do in your field. And that will put you a mile ahead of the curve of the rest of your colleagues.
Yeah. As we near winding up the first part of this conversation,
Yes.
so I know there are so many myths that have been told about the AI. I want to give you the limit of the numbers, but what are some of the top myths outside there that people say about AI?
The biggest myth, of course, that one that I told you, it's about level worshipping and all that. Maybe there is some truth to that, but we don't know anyway. None of us is an angel or a god for us to know that. Number two, AI is coming to take jobs, replace us, phase our businesses out, which is true, like you said. It could do that if you not adapt to it. All right. Another myth that is out here. People think robotics is not AI. They think AI is ChatGPT.
Yeah.
When you mention AI, what comes to mind? ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, that is what people think.
Now, ChatGPT is a grain of sand, the Sahara Desert, when it comes to AI. It's a grain. So AI is massive. It's beyond ChatGPT. It's beyond Gemini and all that. And then the usability of AI. People who understand it think it's specifically a good thing. AI has its shortcomings. Right now, I could place you in a crime scene.
Yeah.
With my level of understanding of AI, I could place you in a crime scene and we are here.
True.
So there are those dangers when it comes to AI, and unfortunately there are no policies to guide that, there are no regulations, but hopefully we will be one of the first continents to build that. So there are also downsides to AI. We won't pretend that it's an all glamorous tool and all that. So there are dangers to it, and those dangers are sometimes more devastating than the benefits you get from it. Because if today someone was murdered in Mary and then we place you there, then how can you say that was not me? As much as we are here with you, the footage is clear. You stand there. So AI has also its negative effects. And lastly, this is the biggest misconception actually, that AI makes people smart. It doesn't. Actually, it makes more stupid people than smart people. And that's why I do a lot of reading of books. Today, the things I used to do personally, 90% of them are done by AI. So that means there is increased level of laziness, free time, and all that. So if you just say that AI is doing this for me, then for lack of a better word, you'll be done in 3 months than you ever was smart in 30 years. So read a lot of books, engage with the real world as much as you're using AI, just to avoid that illusion that it's making you smart. It's not. It's not making you smart.
Amazing. So there's something that you mentioned that actually is a very important thing that, it's true. Anything in this world that has benefits, there must be that downside of it. And true, AI has the downside of it. And I don't want to dwell so much on the downside of it. But then my question is, actually, the example that you gave, somebody placing me maybe in a crime scene somewhere else and all that. Do you think, I think it's a problem that we are having as a continent, because now you see, that is the law side. You know, when there is no order, the only thing that can help us is the law. Do you think that as a continent, we are doing well when it comes to maybe policies and laws that you are putting in place for AI, and actually can just give us a glimpse if the AI Central, which is the infrastructure, which is the tool that you are building in this AI space, also tackle something on the policy?
First of all, the continent doesn't understand AI. Like you said, 15% of people. So there's no way we can start talking about policies when we don't even know what policies. What are we
going to govern?
Yes, what are you going to govern in the first place? So that's it's a question we cannot answer right away. But again, recently I read the Kenyan government 2025 to 2030 AI agenda. I got a preview of it, and most of it is actually what you're trying to do at AI Central. Because right now, as we speak, let no one lie to you that you can create any AI tool in Africa. No one can do that.
Yeah.
Not because of technical skills, but because of the infrastructure. Okay, we have smart people. We have smarter people than Zuckerberg, than Elon Musk in this continent.
Yeah.
But the infrastructure does not allow us to get that. For you to, if you type a question in ChatGPT, for you to get a response, it uses at least 450 watts of energy.
Yeah.
Do we have that kind of power? In Africa, we do not have that, right? It has to have a cooling of maximum 2 degrees.
Yeah.
We do not have infrastructure in place to help with that.
True.
The data centers and all that. So, first of all, we cannot speak about policies unless we understand what you are governing and all that. And then number 2, AI Central, actually, I call it the OS, the operating system of AI in Africa, because we're trying to tackle so many things at once. One, we want to bring this understanding to people so that we move from 15% to 40% to 60%. Okay? After that is done, we want to build data, useful data, that now when PB wants to create an AI tool, he's creating from local data. ChatGPT is built on the US data and the UK data. And that's why they're not as effective in Africa as they are in those countries, right? The only time we try with those tools is during testing, and the foundation is already laid. So we want to build enough data so that when we are ready to build these tools, we'll use our own local data. That's true. So one, it's bringing awareness through